There are many mysterious and magical places on the planet, but there are few that really stand out from the rest because of their power. With this in mind, from Uncensored World we bring you the 15 largest economic powers on the planet according to the latest record of the International Monetary Fund. We begin. Number 15, Spain. Spain, the mother country of a large part of Latin America, is also one of the most developed countries in Europe. With a population of more than 47 million inhabitants, similar in population to Argentina, it is also one of the countries with the best quality of life on the planet, and one of the longest lived. The country also enjoys a good climate and quality of life, and Spaniards enjoy a good life in general, although their salaries are probably among the lowest in Europe. Since entering the Eurozone, Spain has been affected by economic crises, but it has always come out ahead, and although, as we mentioned, the salary level is not the best in the Eurozone, its economy is one of the most powerful. Spain currently has an economy of $1,582,054 million. Number 14, Australia. Australia is, for many, one of the most developed countries on the planet. But it is also an island far from much of the world as the country is completely surrounded by the sea. If it weren't for that, perhaps Australia would climb many places in this ranking. It is also the sixth largest country on the planet, with 7.7 million square kilometers, but although it is gigantic, it has a small population, with only 25.7 million inhabitants. This makes it one of the countries with the lowest population densities on the planet. Despite this, it is one of the most developed countries and one of the most cash-generative per capita. Australia's economy has experienced continuous growth, with reduced unemployment, controlled inflation, very low public debt and a strong and stable financial system. Currently, it has an economy of $1,687,713 million. Number 13, South Korea. The land of K-pop, of series such as The Squid Game or of some of the best thrillers of recent times. Also famous for being so addicted to beauty products. South Korea is a very curious country. South Korea is not only an economic giant, ranking at the top of the list, it is also the most automated country in the world. In South Korea, you can find robot masters, industrial factory workers and service personnel deployed all over the country. In addition, South Korea is one of the 4 Asian tigers, the most pungent economies in all of Asia. It has one of the best education systems on the planet. If that were not enough, it also has one of the most powerful armed forces in the world, competing with its neighbor to the north. South Korea currently has an economy of $1,792,320 million. Number 12, Mexico. Mexico is now the largest Spanish-speaking power in the world, surpassing Spain last year. Mexico's economy is incredibly fast-paced and has grown like no other in the Latin region. Although it is a country that has been plagued by problems such as trafficking of illegal substances and crime, Mexico is also extremely important for the Latin American economy and the North American economy, as it is the main trading partner and one of the main partners of the United States and Canada, 2 of the most powerful countries in the world. Currently, this country is practically industrialized to a large extent. It has a highly developed industry and is one of the world's leading producers of cars, computers, and is also the world's leading producer of televisions. This country is a world leader in manufacturing exports. Mexico today continues to be the leader in the Hispanic Latin region, enjoying an economy of $1,811,468 million. Number 11, Russia. Russia, for many, is one of the greatest powers in the known world and, also with respect to the economy, it is. In the past, when the former Soviet Union existed, it was the second largest power on the planet competing with the United States, but today, Russia is far behind. It is also true that the fall of the Soviet Union in 1991 had a significant impact on the economy of this country, since, when the Soviet Union disintegrated, several countries that were previously under its control gained independence, forming independent republics. This included nations such as Ukraine, Belarus, the Baltic countries, Estonia, Latvia and Lithuania, among others. The independence of these republics had several negative effects for the Russian economy. If you want to know better some of the most secret beauties and corners of these Eastern European countries, we will leave you a link in the description and the video that follows this one. Apart from that, Russia is a country that relies heavily on the defense industry, exporting arms to the whole planet, and it also relies heavily on natural gas and oil. It is the largest exporter of gas on the entire planet, and almost all of Europe is heavily dependent on this hydrocarbon. Currently, this country is going through economic sanctions that made it go down in the list. Although it continues to grow, today this former superpower has an economy of $1,862,470,000,000. Number 10, Canada. Canada is considered one of the best countries in the world to live. It is the second largest country on the planet, behind Russia. But, unlike Russia, it has an extremely low population and almost all of it is living on the border with the United States to the south. Canada has some of the most developed and advanced cities in the world, such as Toronto, Vancouver and Montreal. This country is highly dependent on hydrocarbon exports, mainly oil, and sells to its southern neighbor, the United States. Due to strong demand from Americans, Canada sells almost all of its oil and this affects its economy very positively. In addition, mining and services are also strong sources of money for this country. Currently, Canada has an economy of $2,117,805,000,000. Number 9, Brazil. Brazil is the largest Latin power and the largest Portuguese-speaking language power. Similar to other countries, Brazil is an overpopulated and overgrown country. It has more than 210 million people and more than 8.5 million square kilometers. It is the fifth largest country in the world by area. This makes it rich in natural resources on all sides and fertile land. In addition to being the second largest food-producing country on the planet, behind the United States, it has high-tech industries such as airplanes, car assembly plants and much more. Today, Brazil has an economy of $2,126,809,000,000. Number 8, Italy. Italy is the cradle of most of the languages spoken in Latin America and Europe. Italy is also the cradle of most of the world's cultures and the country with some of the most beautiful cities on the planet. It is also a country full of history, with places such as the Vatican, ancient Rome, Venice, or Florence. Italy is, for this reason, one of the most touristic and visited countries in the world. In the year 2023, it was the fifth most visited country in the world, with more than 52.4 million visitors. Moreover, Italy, thanks to its geographical position, becomes an important passage in Europe, both for receiving and sending goods to the American continent. For more than 30 years, Italy has been the second most important manufacturing economy in Europe after Germany and the sixth in the world, according to the World Bank. Currently, this country has an economy of $2,186,882,000,000. Number 7, France. France is known as the land of love and romance. France is and has been throughout almost the entire history of mankind, one of the greatest powers on the planet. Napoleon or the Great French Empire dominated almost the entire world in the past, and surely because of this it has an extensive history of economic dominance, and today is no exception. France's economy is a highly developed social market economy. The chemical industry is a key sector for France, as it helps develop other manufacturing activities and contributes to economic growth. France's tourism industry is also an important component of its economy, as France is the most visited destination in the world. Last year, it received more than 82.6 million tourists. Today, France has an economy of $3,490,166 million. Number 6, United Kingdom. The United Kingdom, the land of royalty and elegance. For many, it is one of the greatest superpowers that has ever existed and holds the record of having the largest territory under its rule when the empire had its greatest extension. Today, it remains a very strong power. The United Kingdom is a country with a real industrial character and has several of the largest companies on the planet within its territory, mainly service companies such as banks. In addition, the United Kingdom has what for many is the capital of the world, London, which is one of the major cities of the entire planet. Today, the United Kingdom has an economy of $3,332,059 million. Number 5, India. India is a country that many perceive or believe to be very poor and with nothing to contribute, but the truth is that, although the country is one of the most populous in the world and wealth is very poorly distributed, India, now known as Bharat, is one of the richest countries on the planet. Rich in every sense of the word. By the way, it is also considered the cheapest country for tourism in the world, something you can learn more about in the video that we leave you in the description and follows this one. Although inexpensive, India is a place full of treasures to discover, and it is also a vast, populous and powerful country. It is currently the 5th largest economic power in the world, with an economy larger than most countries, but unfortunately, as I said, its wealth is very poorly distributed, since 10% of its population owns 55% of the national income. India's current population is around 1.4 billion people, making it the most populous country in the world, a projection that is expected to continue growing until 2.6 billion, when it could reach more than 16 billion people. It is and will remain the most populous country on the planet. Today, it is becoming increasingly industrialized and is even expected to be the world's largest power in the coming years. From the channel we hope that they learn to distribute wealth better and things will change for the majority of the population of one of the most magical countries in the world. A country with an economy of $3,732,224 million. Number 4, Japan. Japan, throughout its history, has always been an economic powerhouse. Since the time of World War II, Japan has been at the forefront of world power. Thanks to its large maritime extension, the country is one of the world's largest producers of fishery products. It is also the country of iron discipline with a millenary tradition that unites philosophies such as Buddhism with legends such as that of the samurai, which seems to have provided its inhabitants with two indispensable faculties to generate wealth, wisdom and strong discipline. The industrial sector is highly diversified and manufactures everything from basic products to sophisticated technology. Japan dominates the automotive, robotics, biotechnology, nanotechnology and renewable energy sectors. Today, this economic powerhouse has a wealth of $4,232,862 million. Number 3, Germany. Germany is synonymous with great industry and excellence. Power and greatness have been characteristic of this country for centuries. Germany is therefore one of the greatest powers of today and of the past, a country that has dominated all of Europe in its time, but also often lay in ruins and was later reborn. Currently, it is the largest power in the old continent, has the largest gross domestic product and the largest population in the entire European Union, which has made it the most important market in Europe. It is one of the 3 largest exporters in the world. In 2022, Germany exported goods worth more than 1.5 trillion euros, making it the world's largest exporter per capita. Currently, Germany has an economy of $429,838 million. Number 2, China. China is currently the world's second largest power, but 20 years ago it was not on this list, nor among the 10 largest on the planet. But from 1980 to the present, China is the country with the highest economic growth in the world, with an average annual increase of 10%. Its rapid growth is to be admired, and the truth is that there is no one in the world that has grown so much and maintained it for so many years. Manufacturing, exports, and cheap labor originally drove the growth of the Chinese economy, transforming the country from an agricultural to an industrial economy. However, China has a similar situation to India, since according to UN data, China's per capita income does not exceed $7,600 per year, a figure that places it in 83rd place on the list, and which shows the poverty in certain parts of the country. Today, it is not only a maquila for large transnationals, but also has its own brands filling the world's markets. It is the largest volume exporter on the planet and is considered the superpower of tomorrow, together with India. Today, China has an economy of $17,700,899 million. Number 1, United States. The United States is the greatest power in the world today, although for some time now it has also seemed to be a country in a powerful decline due in large part to the double standards of its governments and to problems such as the trafficking of illegal substances, which have transformed its most important cities into areas that look like something out of a zombie film. But economically, the United States remains an economic juggernaut without equal. Many mention that China is going to catch up, but as you will see at the economic level, the Americans are still a few steps ahead. It is true that, if the Chinese are expected to continue to grow, in a few years they will be in first place. And this seems to be causing complications in the country's politics and geopolitics, complications that hopefully will not lead to future problems for the rest of the world. We are coming to the end of the video, so we take this opportunity to ask you, what do you think will happen? Will the Chinese beat the Americans in wealth? Or do you think the Americans will somehow not allow it? Pause the video and leave us your comment. Doing so is the best way you have to help us, and thinking that we have brought you a good video with current and interesting information, we will love to receive from you this help, so thank you. By the way, give it a like, and if you are not subscribed, subscribe to our channel to know the mysteries, beauty and secrets of this uncensored world. Returning to the United States and its wealth, it is important to recognize that it has 9 of the 10 largest companies on the planet, such as Apple, Microsoft, Amazon or Google, among many others. Even in the top 20, 17 are Americans, and this is the main reason why they remain in the top. The United States is, as you know, the country and cradle of modern capitalism, and they need things to stay that way. Surely that's why they fill us with advertising, technology, and realities over which the rest of human beings have very little power. In addition, with the intention of not losing the power that for years he achieved by taking over the territory of the Native American Indians and gaining power even from the shadows, the Americans have the most powerful army on the entire planet. A set of things that make this country have an economy of $26,949,643 million. According to different studies carried out by Standard Chartered, a multinational bank based in the United Kingdom, India's economy will surpass that of the United States in the year 2030. That would be one of the surprises and predictions for the coming years. A surprise that would mean that if this projection comes true, India would become the second largest economy in the world, after China, which would become the first, while the US would remain in third place. We hope you liked today's video and that you found it entertaining. If so, don't hesitate to share it with family and friends and give it a good like. We would like to know which country surprised you the most and which one you think will be the biggest power in the coming years. And don't miss the video that follows this one, and we'll leave you here. Click on it and enjoy the beauty and mysteries of the world.